All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol HYLN, Hyliion Holdings Corp. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So, Hyliion has actually been on its way up, as I've stated in my previous videos. You can clearly see from down here at that point of 1810 and moving forward, because that's the lowest point we've seen Hyliion reach in the recent bearish run and also before this recovery, that it has been in an upward movement. And I had stated yesterday we're going to have to see if the bulls can continue to work its way up, reach newer highs, and maintain itself above the resistance level, and so forth. And right now, currently, we could see that the bulls tried to do that, and it only lasted about 3 hours. Now, the volatility of the market is normal. We're going to see the ups and downs, and this went up and it slightly went down. As long as this doesn't break through the 50-day moving average right now, I think that the bulls have a shot here to continue this run and continue the momentum. But we're going to look at this closely because of the fact that it's going to be pretty broad. Our resistance and support have slightly changed, and they've changed in a broader spectrum. So we're going to want to look at this closely, and I'm going to go ahead and break it down as much as I can to go ahead and show you guys some extra point of references you guys can use apart from the resistance and the support to pay close attention to where this is going, how it's reacting, and we're going to look at our 50-day moving average and why it's going to be so important for the bulls to break through resistance to reach newer highs, because the 50-day moving average will catch up to the price. So our resistance has slightly changed, and it's the highest point before the fall, and our support now is actually the lowest point reached here before it actually recovered and is slightly leveled off here at 24.88. Super important number right now where we're at, and also these points of reference. Our 50-day moving average has slightly caught up to the price. And here we are with our 50-day moving average being 24.03. 24.03 is the 50-day moving average. I'd write that down. As long as we're above it, the bulls are in control. And the moment we're below it, the bears are in control. So you want to go ahead and be aware of that, because that lets us know if we're in bullish territory or in bearish territory. As of right now, we are slightly still in bullish territory, and the bulls need to come back from this slight fall for them to start to gain control again and even stay above the 50-day moving average. So I want to go ahead and say I apologize in advance for my terrible drawing, but I want to illustrate why it's important for the bulls to actually reach up there to where the resistance is, to get further away from the 50-day moving average and not have it catch up to the price. So let's say, for example, the bulls actually just kind of hang out this way. Well, the 50-day moving average is super close, and it's actually going to cross it fairly quickly and end up above it, and we will be by default in bearish territory, giving leverage to the bears to bring it down. Now, the other scenario is, okay, let's say that the bulls do work their way up. They make it to the resistance. They kind of hang out in this area and so forth. And they kind of just sit below the resistance and not able to cross it. Well, same thing will happen. The 50-day moving average will move up quickly. It will start to slow down. And at some point, it's going to still catch up to the price, cross it, and we'll still end up below it and giving leverage to the bears. This is why it's so important for the bulls to actually create that stair-step effect and actually start to make it above the resistance and bring themselves to a point where they use it as support and continue in this direction. And ignore all these other lines and just look at this direction of where it's going. That's what they need to do. And then the 50-day moving average will be catching up to the price. But guess what? It will actually still stay below it because the price will be up here and the 50-day moving average down here. And I'm going to remove all these lines so that nobody gets confused. But I just wanted to illustrate why it's so important for the bulls to break through this resistance or work their way towards it, even though the 50-day moving average is catching up to the price. So let's look at our resistance and support. So our support level, let's get it to the T here. And our resistance is to the T up there. So 50-day moving average, as I stated earlier, 2403. And if that gets crossed, we'll end up in bearish territory. We're currently at 24.88. The bulls, to gain control again of this chart and continue to maintain the momentum, because they still have leverage over the chart, but they don't have as much control as they had before. So for them to get that point back and the momentum and rally in an upward direction, they need to break through this resistance. That's 2670. I know it's a pretty broad and spectrum of pretty much almost $2. It's like $1.90 of distance. So if you want to have a point of reference, and this is just optional, I use it if it was my position to go ahead and say, okay, well, what's another point I want to go ahead and use instead of just the resistance? Because the resistance is very important right now for the bulls. 2670 is important, whether it's for tomorrow or the next coming days. This is probably one of the most important resistance levels because that's the highest point reached before this bearish run. So it's pretty significant. But if you want to use a point of reference, I would use the highest point in this same candlestick that shows us the lowest point and also the highest point as it was falling, and that would be up here at 2540. Now, that's not a resistance level that if it gets broken through, the bulls have made it and they're going to cross 2670. That does not signify that. That is just a point of reference at 2540 for us investors to see where this is heading and kind of narrow down between 2540 and our support. And if it's getting closer to 2540 or if it broke through it, watch it closely how it's reacting from 2540 all the way up to 2670, and how close is it getting to this resistance level, or is it working its way where it could break through 2670 and start to hit newer highs? Because that's probably the most ideal situation, but we have to see how it reacts and how it's going to go. But this is a great point of reference to use just to know where this is heading, but the bulls still have to break through 2670 to continue the momentum and not have the 50-day moving average quickly catch up to the price. Now, on the other hand, we have what the bears want, and the bears want to cross this support. This support level is 2451, and if this gets broken through, you have a pretty small window between 2403 and 2451 to see how this stock is reacting. You're still in bullish territory, but how quickly is it moving to newer lows? Is it getting closer to the 50-day moving average to the point that it can cross it? Or are the bulls trying to reappear and bring this one back up? This is super important because this support level getting broken through is one step closer for the bears to get closer to their goal and breaking through the 50-day moving average and the up in bearish territory. So I want every single investor to be aware that 2451, my emphasis there is pay close attention to the behavior of the stock. How quickly is it moving to newer lows? Or are the bulls trying to reappear? As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community. And don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.